I'll do a little quick introduction, then we can get to painting. So everybody, I'll sit up a little bit more. Hello everybody, I'm Erin. Nice to see you all. Thanks for joining me for my online painting tutorial. I'm on both Facebook and Twitch right now, so Facebook say hi to Twitch, Twitch say hi to Facebook. Just 2 live streaming platforms, everyone's friends though, so welcome into everybody. The idea behind today's tutorial, in case you've never been before, is that I'll teach you step by step how to recreate the painting beside me. It's called, I don't know what it's called. It's always nameless. We always don't name it. I always ask you all to name it so that I can give it a name when I upload it to YouTube later. So feel free to drop any name suggestions in the comments right now, and I'll go through them a little bit later. I guess on that note, people have been asking, where does the tutorial go when you're all done? It stays on Facebook, it stays on Twitch so that you can kind of review it if you'd like. If you see it disappear from either of those platforms, it's because it moves to YouTube. So if you can't find it, I would try YouTube. I would recommend subscribing youtube.com/erinbunpaints, and then that way you can be notified anytime I post a new tutorial that you may have missed. In terms of materials for tonight, it's the same as usual. I always keep it consistent so that everyone can follow along with the same stuff. We use 5 different paint colors. I have red, yellow, phthalo blue, black, and white. And then I use 3 different brushes. Let me pull them out of here. 1, 2, and 3. We have a large flat brush, I have a medium round brush, and I have a small round brush. You can use them however you want, or different sizes and whatnot. I just recommend having a couple so that you have a little bit of choice in terms of size. Otherwise, I recommend a cup of paint water. I just have my usual yogurt cup here. I'm wearing a lovely apron. Thank you, Terry, as usual, for that lovely apron she made me. And yeah, a canvas or anything to paint on, and that's pretty much all you need. Cool. All right. So again, the idea behind the tutorial is that I'll actually paint along with you if I didn't make that clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. If you want to see a nice close-up version, you can see it on Facebook in the event page, or you can go to my Instagram page where it is currently posted as the first, most recent post. So you can have a look if you like a consistent version. Otherwise, I will bring it up and down as I paint just to show you what I'm doing. So I'm actually going to start with the moon today. So we have obviously this lovely round moon. Ooh, ah, ee. And what I'm going to do is I'll start with just the white of the moon. I'll teach you how to do all the texture in the moon, and then we're going to blend it all later. We're actually going to reapply white so we can blend it a little bit more fresh and get this nice soft glow around the edges. So first brush I'd recommend is this large flat brush. You can grab that, dip it in your paint water, and you're going to go straight into white paint. Midnight Reflections, that's a good one. Sarah. I'm good, thanks, Anju. How are you? Yeah, right on time, no kidding. Oh, no worries, Pink Whitney. Again, I appreciate you popping in. I hope that's been going well. I've heard it can be a little chaotic right now, but it sounds like you're enjoying it maybe, so that's good, that's good. Facebook would let me enlarge the picture with the iPad. Very good, very good. Okay. So let's see, first step is nice big white circle. So my moon takes up almost all of the canvas. I would say there's a little bit of space at the top, a little bit of space at the bottom, and then even less space on the sides. So I know it's going to be a little hard to see with white on white, but we're going to try our best here. Let's see if I can manage this. It's always harder to do things from the side, especially circles, so I'm just going to do my absolute best and alter if I need to a little bit later. Keep in mind too, I mean, we can always use the purple a little later to alter, so if it looks a little bit off here and there, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's more so just getting the general shape down. That's pretty okay. It's just okay. It does help to look at it straight ahead, so if you're like me, you might want to flip your canvas this way and that'll help with seeing a little bit better. Again, more so the important part for now is just filling in the moon with white, getting the general shape, because we're going to deal with all of the nice textures in there. And I am filling it in with white. You can see I'm really scooping on the white paint onto my brush and just really trying to fill up the circle as much as I can. As much as I can, meaning taking a nice guessing game, because white on white is hard to see, so just kind of slopping it on the canvas, slapping it on, plopping it on, all those fancy art words, and just brushing along, trying to spread it all out. You can even use a little bit of water if you want to help spread it, in case maybe your white is a little bit thick or hard to spread. All depends on what paint you're using, what kind of paint. We are using acrylic, but maybe you have a different brand. It might be a little thicker, in which case you can definitely use some white. And Andrew, you're doing okay. That's good. That's good. Weekend's coming up. Hope you're excited. Hope that's a good thing as well. Okay, about as round and as filled up as it can go for now. So again, I can always use purple later to help, you know, shape this out a little bit better. So don't worry if it's a little bit funky. You can see my edge right here is a little bit funny, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Is that what I'm doing wrong when the painting is not wetting my brush first? Maybe, Miko. Do you have trouble with like spreading the paint a little bit? I find a little bit of a wet brush is really nice. Yeah. No, it's okay. We're all noobs here and there, Miko. You're fine. Using acrylic, nothing is wrong. I just never heard that tip before, wetting your brush first. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I just find wetting the brush even just a little bit helps it glide across the canvas a little bit more. It helps spread the paint. Some actually even like wetting the canvas first. Some will dip the brush straight into the water without any paint and just go the whole canvas. They'll wet the whole thing. I personally don't do that. I find it does cause a little bit of trouble, at least when I'm painting. It kind of like spreads the paint a little too much. It thins it out a little too much just for me. And it's probably just because I've never really practiced doing that. A lot of people, I think, were taught to do that maybe in school or through art classes, and so they got used to that. I'm personally not used to it, so I almost never wet the canvas. But maybe try that if you want, just for a little change of pace, you know? Mm-hmm. Little Wolf, I see that. You're tired, Pink Whitney, I see. I can imagine it's tiring. I just hope everything's like organized and well as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helps keep it pointy. That's a good point too, Todd. When we start to do that too, it helps. I usually wet it, especially when I'm doing small details, exactly because it keeps it a little bit pointy. It maybe thins out the paint a little bit as well. Oh, no worries, Allie. No worries. Go get those groceries. Drying when I paint not smooth makes sense. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it kind of like grabs the canvas almost. If the brush isn't wet and if like the canvas isn't wet, it kind of like grabs at it. It's just a little harder to spread, a little easier. So, yeah, if you have thick acrylics, wet canvas is a good idea, but not if the paint is thinner. There we go. So yeah, I use pretty thin academic acrylics, so maybe it's just not necessary for me. Good point. Good point. Yeah, you could spray a little bit too if you want. If you have a nice little spray bottle, that would work for sure. A damp brush, unless I'm doing watercolor. Oh, okay. Yeah. And yeah, when I say wet the brush, Miko, I'm really not like allowing it to be super wet. I kind of do a quick little dip and then I tap it off a little bit too, just if you want to be specific about what I'm doing, just in case. Makes sense. I'm noticing that some paints are thicker. Exactly. Yeah, Canine, if you were here today when you were watching me do that scrape painting. Very, very thick paint. I wanted it thick, so I didn't water down my brush or my palette knife, I guess I was using, but if I were to want to do something like this with the thick paint, I would start doing that for sure. Ready to move on. Perfect. Okay, good point, Alyssa. Thank you. All right, so what we're doing next, everybody, is we're texturing up the moon. Let me give you another sneak peek here. So I kept my moon pretty subtle. You can see there's not a whole lot going on in there. It's just a lot of nice purples, kind of like the craters and the shading of the moon. So we can do this a little bit as the white is still wet. It helps with blending. And then I also do go in when the white is a little bit more dry, just for some kind of like dry brushing and texture. It'll just give a little bit of a different look. If you want to be specific, I did actually add a little extra shading kind of near the bottom on the spooky side, just because I wanted it like a little darker on this side. You can kind of see how this side now the bottom, I guess. I'll call it the top though. The top is a little bit lighter on the moon. Bottom is a little darker for the spooky side. So if you want to be specific, I did do that. But otherwise you can do your own thing there. As much or as little shading and texture as you want. I'm going to use the same brush, this nice large flat brush. You can use whatever brush you want for this though, honestly. We'll just be tapping the brush, so really any brush size and shape is okay. Oops, I gotta remove some paint here, else it won't work. Come on out. Nice little peel. So to mix purple, I'll be using red and phthalo blue. Red and phthalo blue. There it is. And we don't want a lot on our brush. You can mix as much purple as you want, but we won't be using a lot on our brush. So if you want to save paint, you don't need to mix a whole lot yet. We will be using lots of purple later, but for now, not a whole lot. So again, red and blue mixed together. So it'll appear pretty dark, and that's okay because it will lighten up when we start to apply it to the moon. We're making a circle, Andrew. If mine looks oval, it's just because mine turned out oval by accident. I'm trying to make it as round as possible. Good question. Oh, and I think somebody helped you there. Yep, Donna did. Thanks. All right, when you're happy with your purple, again, it will look pretty dark, and that's okay. That was my purple there on my big volcano plate. What I want to do before applying it to the canvas, I'm going to wipe it off a little bit, either on a towel, paper towel, whatever you have, just so there's not a lot of paint on there. I just don't want a lot of paint on there. And then what I can do is go to the canvas and start tapping. If you're using a large flat brush like me, I would just tap with maybe a corner of the brush. Then that way you're not getting kind of like flat lines as you tap. If you tap with the whole edge of the brush like that, you'll get more of a flat line. If you tap with just the corner, you get more of a spot like that. So just lightly starting to tap it on. I like to go in small little bits at a time to begin. It's as if I'm kind of removing the paint off of my brush, and then I'm going to blend this out. So it's going to look a little bit harsh for now, but I'm just applying that first, allowing it to sit on top of the white, and then I'll blend it out. So you can see I like to stick mostly to the outsides, maybe kind of curling around this way. Again, you can see I'm mostly going along the bottom here. Tap, 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 tap. Many taps. So it looks pretty harsh for now. I'll give you a quick minute if you're adding, and then I'll teach you how to blend it out. Splooshing water and paint. You got it. That's good. Oh, Kimberly, happy Friday. Whee! Dope. Sorry, Lisa. Don't tell me. Why not, Lil Wolf? I support it. I'm jealous, but I support it. Too spooky. Sounds tasty. Wookie, welcome in. Sorrel, welcome in as well. Nice to see you. Don't Drink and Draw. What a great name. Is your palette a mountain of paint? It is, yes. Oh, you follow Scradella too? I love him. Yeah, it's a 5-year-old plate that I've used consistently for 5 years rather than using a new plate every time or every few times. I've used the same one, and it kind of just turned into a joke that I kept using it and it kept growing, and it is now quite literally a volcano with the paint spilling out of the top there. Yeah. So you draw, I assume? You don't drink and draw, though? Good name. It sure is. Yeah, we call it the volcano plate. And you see Lisa's emotes just above your comment there? That's the volcano plate. It's very hype, so we made it a little hype emote. Yeah, that's insane. I love it. Yeah, it is insane because it's super heavy. That's the one problem, is that it's really hard to show on camera when I'm showing people how to mix paint. So, but we go through it. We just suffer through it because we love the volcano plate. So, all right, everyone, once you've added more than a few little dollops of purple, you can wash off your brush. I just gave it a quick little wash. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap kind of around these splotches. And what that's going to do is it's going to soften them up a little bit. The white is still a little bit wet, which is perfect. It'll help kind of blend out these edges a bit, and you can see what happens. It just softens them right up. So again, just tapping with the corner or the whole bristles, that's okay as well at this point. And it's nice because you kind of get a little bit more of a center left behind. You kind of get the original splotch left behind, and then you're softening up the rest around it. If something isn't working right, maybe the blending isn't blending as much as you'd want it to be, or it's just not as soft as you'd like it. Very easy to fix. You can grab just a little bit of white paint on your brush and then use that to tap, 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 tap. Okay? That should be pretty easy to do. Some people like to use a little water to do that as well. I personally don't, but I'm sure it does work because people do use that and they say that that works fine, just using a little bit of water and then tapping. So yeah, you can combine little areas if you want. You don't need to keep them all separate. You can see just the way I'm tapping here, it maybe combined a couple little areas, made a larger crater or larger shading. You can even take the remnants of your last little tap, kind of move it over to get some very soft spots. It's all about just kind of working with the paint as it's on the canvas, moving it around. So I'm just going ahead and doing that to all of my little splotches, and then maybe I'll add a couple more, maybe I'll darken up a couple by tapping a little bit more. You can kind of experiment and make them all a little bit different. Look at that. So again, I'm trying to keep more of the purple down here just for the spookier area, but that's really up to you. You can decide if you want to do that as well. Now I do both, mostly painting though. Okay, I used to teach classes where the whole COVID thing. Did you? Oh, interesting. In bars and restaurants? Where? Let me know, let me know. Maybe we have that in common. Paper towel technique is good for this. True, yes, Brittany brings up a great point. You don't necessarily need to use a brush for this. Paper towel is fantastic, just using one little piece of paper towel, scrunching it up and tapping with it. Some people have used sponges in the past. If you have like a, hopefully not super dirty, kitchen sponge laying around, you can use a little sponge to tap as well. What else? I feel like there's so many others that people use. If anyone else has ideas for how they blend out and tap, let us know. Really anything would work. It's called the volcano, yes. The volcano plate, the infamous volcano plate. So I've kind of tapped out what I have, so I'm just going to go ahead and add maybe a little bit more. So same thing, just using a little bit of the purple paint, tapping around. You can even tap, like I said, inside of already existing craters just to darken up the middles a little bit. Gives it a nice transition. And yeah, just kind of changing up the shapes too. They don't all have to be these little curves that you saw me doing. They can be like more splotchy, splotchy, whatever you want. And again, I think I said this already, but just in case, if you need to dim anything down again, maybe something got a little bit too harsh, a little too dark, use a little bit of white on your brush. That'll help just soften it all up again. So for example, that got a little bit harsh up there because my white paint is now dry. So I'm just using a little bit of white, and you can see that just soften it up and starts to move it around the way I want. Maybe I'll go a little more in the middle. And I don't know what it is, but I kind of like staying to kind of one side. You can see I'm kind of circling around the right-hand side, bottom and top, not really touching the left a whole lot. And I did the same in my original here. Yeah, I'm going to combine more down here as well to make it a little more combined. I poured way too much paint. Gonna have paint something else tonight too. Ugh. Purple though, if it's purple, we still got the whole background to go. I know you said you maybe started a little earlier, so maybe you're a little behind. But oh no, you gotta paint more? Oh dear, what a sad night. Best night ever. So yeah, you can see I'm just starting to combine things. I didn't like how everything was so separated, and I think it's looking a little better now. So just kind of play around, just little bits at a time, tapping around. Extra makeup sponge. Yup, makeup sponges are perfect. The nice little wedges. I know what you're talking about. Did you remember to buy inexpensive paper towels? Not yet, Lisa. I went grocery shopping yesterday, but I was at Costco actually doing my shopping, so I didn't want to get a massive amount. But next time, perhaps. Maybe like a dollar store or something. Worked for painting with a twist for 5 years, and then I started my own traveling business. I have all the bars I used to do for it wanting me back, so hopefully I'll be teaching again soon. I hope so too, Drink and Draw. I dropped the don't, so sorry. Just Drink and Draw. Okay, yeah, I know Painting with a Twist. That's their own kind of establishment in a studio, I believe, correct? Okay, wow, yeah, you have quite a lot of experience. Very cool, very cool. I really hope everything goes well for you. I know it's kind of a weird in-between time for that kind of business. Everyone's kind of like, do we start to do it? Do we not? That's why I'm online, because I prefer not. I'd rather be at home isolating with everybody else. So, but yeah, I understand it's kind of a weird decision. I do hope it goes well, though. All the best to you. And I'm glad you still have a passion for it, too. That's really exciting, too, that you want to continue. Cool. I do this too often. Cover with cling film. I'm going to paint the next day. So Wiki's got a system already for it. There you go. Cling film, there you go. Alright, just looking in the camera as I do it, hoping that I'm not messing anything up. There we go. Maybe a little more softness in the middle, just like light amounts. And I think that's good. I'm just going to throw a little comparison up to see how it's looking. Oh yeah. Most of it down there. For sure, for sure. Okay. Cool. So I'll give everyone another minute or two at least just to keep going, and then we're going to do the background. I'll teach you how to blend that lovely, lovely moon out. Clingworks, preserve it overnight. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, learning, learning, learning. Yeah, you're welcome, Drink and Draw. Yeah. Because I really need to go to bed soon. Okay. Working at lightning speed, you are, Brittany. Lightning speed. There you go. Sharing the knowledge. That's what I love about this chat. Everybody knows something and shares it, and then everyone just, oh, rejoices. I am painting my ceramic pumpkin. I started doing the... Oh, really? Oh, ceramic pumpkin. That's a great idea, Phoenix. I was thinking of doing a stream where I paint a pumpkin, like a real pumpkin, but a ceramic one would make way more sense. Maybe I should consider that. Rather than a real pumpkin that will go rotten in a few days. If I paint it, probably. Oh dear. Did you get that at Michael's, I assume? Michael's usually is good for their ceramic paintable items. Trying to go quickly. What should I do after the background purple? The tree? Yes, you can do the black of the tree next, Brittany. That's a good idea. Pretty sure, yeah. Yep, there's nothing else there. For sure. Black of the tree. Alright, everybody. So if you're done the moon, I'm going to teach you how to do the background now. So just to, again, show you the nice reference here. I have kind of 2 shades of purple for the background, again, just to really distinguish kind of the top and the bottom, the flip sides from each other. We have a nice lavender up here, so that's just a nice light purple. And then I have a very deep dark purple down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one side at a time. I'm going to do the light purple first, the top side. I'll put the light purple on. I'll carefully kind of shape out the moon so that you can really get a nice round moon going. And then we're going to grab white paint and blend out just the edge. So it comes out a little softer. See how it looks kind of glowy and soft? That's because we blended those together a little bit. And then once we're done blending, we're going to move down. We'll do the dark purple, and then we'll blend that out as well. Cool, cool, cool. Same brush. I would use the large flat brush. Usually for the first few steps, that's what we use. Need a little more white myself. Not in my hair, though. I've learned to stop it from dumping into my paint there after many a times, and I'm sure it'll happen again eventually. Wow, volcano plate. All right. Ooh, just got a little drip of paint in there. So red and blue makes our purple, and we're mixing it into a large amount of white. So I just take a little smidgen of blue, a little smidgen of red, mix it on top of the white. And you can see it turns out to be a nice light purple. I want it even lighter than that. A very, very soft lavender is what I'm personally going for. If you want to change the color, you totally can. Even to a completely different color, like a light orange or like a pink and dark pink. Anything like that would be great. Okay, and I'm just going to need to look at this face on so I can really get a nice round circle, hopefully. Pray for me. Yeah, and we're going to do about halfway. So if you want to mark about halfway, just so you know where the halfway point is, that would help. And then you can use the purple to help shape out the moon. So I'm just going to go a little slower and carefully around. Make sure it looks kind of nice and round. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty good. And we're filling in all around that. So anywhere on that left-hand side, top, right-hand side. Grabbing your paint and just kind of following the shape of the moon. I like to stroke kind of around with the moon rather than back and forth or up and down. Just helps with kind of keeping the whole shape of the moon. Everything's kind of swirling around it. So I'm going to try and curve everything with it. If you want, you can also carry this along the edges of your canvas. So if you're using a big canvas like me, or a stretched canvas rather, painting the edges kind of helps complete the whole painting. The only reason you don't see me doing that fully is because I pick up my painting a lot. So I don't want some paint hanging around there. place called Color Me Mine. It's a ceramic shop across the street. Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, and then they fire it. Oh, fun. Okay, cool. My computer much easier than tiny phone screen. Great. I'm glad, K9. Yeah. Some people hook me up to their TVs. It's like I'm in their TV on a show. It's pretty wild. They stream from the computer to the TV. I think that's hilarious. And then I'm in their living room with them. It's great. It's great. Fun fact, it's slightly harder to draw a face without skin than it is to draw a face with skin. Fun fact. Just slightly, though. Are you going straight to the bone, Todd? What else is there? So if you really want to smooth out your paint, maybe you're seeing kind of like... It's a little hard to see because of the light here. But if you start to do small brush strokes, you kind of like lift the paint off of the canvas. You can kind of see they look like little divots. To remove those, just do large brush strokes. It helps really smooth everything out. There we go. Technology is awesome when it works. I agree. When it works, key. Otherwise, it can be a nightmare. Alright, so I'll give everyone a quick half minute to minute if you're still doing that purple. We just want to move on a little bit quick to just the next step because we want the purple to be wet to blend it. So keep adding until you have that whole upper half covered, and then we're going to blend this out. Make it a nice glow of the moon. Glowy side of the moon. If we get copyright claim because I sang that song, I'd be so mad. You used copyrighted music. You sang too well. Ha, yeah, right. Another half minute or so, and then we're gonna blend. Want to make sure that purple's still wet. La 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 la. Oh, there it is. Good. I was trying to check in on my Facebook video and I was panicking because I didn't see it, but it's there. It's there. We're fine. Alright, so let's blend out the moon. So again, if you like the glow of the moon, you can blend it out with me. If you'd rather have more of just like a clean line around the edge of the moon, that's okay too. You can kind of keep it the way it is. That'll just be nice and clean. I like it glowy though. So what I've done is I've washed off my brush. This is still the large flat brush, and I've added white paint to it now. White paint. And again, I do need to look at it a little face forward here just to see what I'm doing. I'm sure you can, yeah, you can still see. But I'm just taking the white going around the very edge of the moon, and I'm trying to blend it a little bit into the purple. So what my brush is doing, it's picking up a little bit of the purple, mixing in with that white paint, which is on the brush. You can see a nice difference there, how it kind of glows compared to the harsh edge up here. So I'm just continuing to add small amounts of white paint. You don't need to blob it on or anything, because you want it kind of nice and smooth as you're going on the canvas here. I'm just going right in between that white and purple section to help blend out, as you can see. See how it's becoming nice and soft and glowy. Grabbing a little more white, same thing just on the last little edge here. You can see, you can go in sections. You don't need to do the whole thing at once. You can kind of go side, top, other side. There we go. Nice and soft. Again, very personal preference. If you'd like a nice harsh edge all the way around, that works, or a nice glowy edge. I think the glow is nice though, because it kind of hides imperfections of the circle. Quick tip. You won't see, yeah, anything a little bit uneven, I guess, if you're doing the glow here. It's a little harder to see when things are a little bit uneven or maybe not as round as they should be, so there you go. Tim says you make it look so easy. I have done this a lot, Tim, to be fair, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, just lots of practice, lots of practice. So you can keep adding white as you need. Again, some people like to use water for this step as well. I didn't really use water. I maybe dipped my brush lightly in water, but I didn't really use the water to actually blend it. It was more so the white paint personally. And if anything, again, isn't blending, you can always try the opposite. You could always try putting some white on and then immediately go back into your light purple and actually brush that on. It doesn't really matter what order you use of colors, just that both colors are wet and you're kind of combining them on the canvas. So try a little bit of back and forth if something isn't working. So, no rush, but if you are done with blending, you can actually do the same thing just on the bottom. Drink and draw, thanks for the follow. Don't drink and draw. Sorry, I don't know why I keep dropping the don't. It's part of your name. We're gonna go to the bottom and do the same thing. So if you're still blending, that's okay. I'm just gonna move on to the next area because it's pretty much the same, just a little bit darker. So again, you can see the difference here. We have a nice deep dark purple. So we're still mixing red and blue. The only difference is we don't have as much white in there, and therefore it's going to be nice and dark. It's like a royal purple. Very royal, yes. So I'm just going to go back to my plate slowly, add some red and blue together. And I used red, blue, and a little bit of white this time, just a little bit. I still wanted it a little bit bright, not the darkest purple in the world. So I would recommend adding a little bit of white to yours as well if you want it just a little bit brighter. And yeah, I've said before that there are a lot of different shades of purple, a lot of different types of purple you can make. If you're not getting the one you like, try mixing a little more red in there, try mixing a little more blue in there. It'll really change the tone. So just experiment if you're thinking that you're kind of imagining a purple, you're not quite seeing it. I usually find more often than not that adding red gets me the purple I like. Again, I really like kind of the bright reds, and I find purple really helps with that. Purple and a little bit of white. Are we painting the bottom? Yeah, Arvind. Yeah, I'm about to do the bottom. You can go at your own pace if maybe you're still working on the top, but I'm about to move to the bottom. It's okay, I encourage drinking in moderation, of course. Very good, especially when drawing or painting. It's a lot more fun, isn't it? I always have my water during tutorials, but I know for a fact some people like to enjoy their wine and stuff during, which is totally fine. It's just because I'm the one teaching, I try and stay sober, you know? If I were attending, I'd probably be enjoying a glass of wine. Or a soda, or a snack. Some people snack while they paint too. Anything to make yourself just a little more like comfy, treating yourself while you paint. I love it all. I love it all. Alright, so again, these are the same steps, just a slightly different color, just a slightly darker purple now. So I'm again going about halfway, making sure that my dark purple meets my light purple. How did that go? That was okay. I think that side's a little botched, so I'm just going to look at this straight on, try and fix it. And again, the glow will kind of fix it too, but I want to do my absolute best at making it round for now. Get the hard work out of the way. Okay, again, I'm just filling in all around that with purple, so making sure I'm going on the left and right hand sides, on the bottom. Same thing, kind of curving with the moon to help everything kind of flow together. Oh, Lynn, no worries. Thanks for coming back. Did you get my message about Mr. Noodle? I hope the video worked. It is there. Just wanted to make sure you saw the right one. I think, Lynn, that maybe you were looking at a clip of Mr. Noodle. Sometimes during the long streams, people will clip like a 1 minute to 30-second part. And I'm thinking maybe you saw a clip. So next time if you click videos, yes, perfect, good. Next time, Lynn, if you click videos, it'll say there will be a section for clips and a section for full videos or full streams. You want to go to the full videos or full streams, and then it'll give you the full 5 hours, 8 hours, however long I streamed. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. It's a clip for sure. And I was clipping things last night, so that's probably why it was like the first thing you saw. It was probably a recent clip that I had clipped actually myself, so no worries. I'm glad you found it. Were you painting him today? So drink and draw if you don't mind me asking. Were you like the owner of the studio? Or you worked for somebody? I'm just very curious. I love hearing when people worked in the similar industry as me. It's very unique. Whatever you want to share, feel free. We can chat more. All right, there it is. There it is. A little rounder. It still looks a little egg-shaped, but I'm going to glow it up and switch that a bit. Start it, but won't be like the t-shirt. Oh, it's okay. You said it was going to be different anyway, and that's good. It'll be more yours. Yeah, I think some of them are painting. All good. They're here, though. They're here. Hi. They come and go, and that's okay. It's a Friday night, too. Might be in the middle of things as they're half watching. Just bought a bunch of supplies. I do private office parties. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Alrighty. That's a good way to do it, I think. Okay, and then as usual, once the background is... Oops, I need more white before I do this. Once the background is on, we want to go quickly into blending because, again, wet on wet is good here. So letting that dark purple stay nice and wet. Grabbing some white on your brush after washing it off. And then using that right along the edge just to blend it out. So the blend will be maybe a little bit tougher this time around just because you're blending into a harsher, darker color. But still definitely attainable. Just go a little slower. Watch where your brush is going. Wash it off every now and then if you feel like it's grabbing too much purple. That's another big key. After brushing on top, of course, your brush is going to get more and more pent up with purple rather than white. So just to help with the glowiness, you'll want to kind of wipe off your brush here and there, wash it off, maybe grab a little more white. Then that way you're kind of controlling the purple and keeping it in its zone. You don't want it to come too far into your moon if you want your moon to be nice and white like mine. So just being careful, blending all the way around. And in the occasion where maybe a little bit of purple sneaks into your moon and you just can't remove it for now, just let it dry a little bit. And you can go back later with some pure white and just cover it up. Just if you want it kind of clean after a certain spot, but I don't mind the glow. Again, it can kind of go in and out a bit, you know? And like up here, I got a little bit messy. I'm just gonna let that dry and put some light purple on top later. That's no worries. Yeah, same thing here. I'll move that around later. Okay, a little more white. I saw a couple comments there. I'll get to you in just a quick second. Just want to make sure I can blend this while it's still wet. So see how that, yeah, the purple kind of moved in a teeny bit. So I'm just going to let it dry a little bit and then I'll put some white on top. Speaking of the moon, it was wicked huge the other night. Oh yeah? I haven't been looking. Love the color on the painting. Thank you. Trying to do color teal green background. Oh, okay. Maybe a little extra blue, Lynn. Just got home. No worries, Kimberly. We'll have to watch tomorrow. Love what I see so far. Great. I'm glad you love it. And no worries. As usual, it'll be left online, so don't worry about it. Bars like it because I bring people to them and they don't pay me. For sure, I take payment on my website, Patreon. Yeah, sounds like you have a fantastic setup. That's the way to do it. Yeah, it's great. It truly is kind of a win-win-win for everybody there. And yeah, different considering, yeah, painting with a twist. Again, I think I'm right in saying they're their own studio. So you're kind of doing a different little jig now. Are you, again, if you don't feel comfortable answering, no worries. Are you in the States? Are you in Canada? I'm in Canada. But when it will be finished, I'll show you. Yes, please do, Lynn. Purples unite. Hee. No studio overhead, no rent. Exactly. Well, wait, I assume you're in Canada. I don't think... Oh, sorry, I assume you're in America. I don't think Canada has painting with a twist. I could be wrong, though. Alright, so again, I got a little, like, messy, quote-unquote messy over here, maybe over here. So I'm just gonna let those dry a little bit. I'll put some light purple on top. That'll fix it right up. Beautiful. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. I'm from Texas. Okay, okay, cool. We have... I don't think anyone who's currently living in Texas. Quite a few in chat who lived in Texas, though. No longer. Used to. Yeah, the States. Okay, okay. I still try and figure out remember where everyone's from. Not figure out. I don't look anybody up. I'm gonna figure out where you are. No, I like to try and remember where everybody's from. I'll try and remember that. Texas, okay. Beautiful moon. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. See, yeah, Todd's one. Successfully escaped Texas. Hooray! Oh, man. Faye lives in Texas. Okay. Todd. That timing. I can tell you're Canadian based on your accent. No! I swear I don't have an accent, but everybody on Twitch has been telling me that. Oh boy. What gave it away? Was there a certain word? Like, they swear I do the aboot thing, and I don't think I do. Man, if I could leave, I would. Come on up to Canada. We love our people. We're very friendly here. We don't have an accent. Imagine mine. Lynn's from Quebec. Aravind is from Arizona. There you go. Yeah, if anyone wants to share where they're from, feel free. I'm going to fix up my dark purples. I'll give everyone else another minute or two if you're still blending away or working on your background. Fix up the purples. Again, there's really not a lot to be fixed. It's just kind of, you can see, lightly putting on some light purple. So even if it's not totally dry, you can probably put some stuff on to help hide any imperfections, if you want to call them that. Happy accidents, if you prefer. There's a little there. And then it was right here, so I want to grab some white for that. And switch brushes. I mean, if you need to cover up a small area, grab a little brush. That'll definitely help your situation a bit more, rather than trying to use a big brush all the time. I'm just going to cover up a little bit of the purple there if it's not wet, if it's not too wet. Or just blend it. No, fly, no. Please. There was a fly crawling around my painting when I was doing the really, really textured painting today, and I was so scared it was gonna get stuck. That's better. So I kind of blended it out to make it look like the craters there. A little better. I think I'll do a little more right around here. So even if you turn it a really, really light lilac, it kind of just ends up looking like the glow, so caking on a little bit of white definitely helps. Arizona, I actually don't have a southern accent despite me living here my entire life. Oh, really? Oh, let's see. Sorry, I missed a few things. I moved to from Texas to Indiana, so kind of like Texas, but colder. Yes, Arizona. We all have an accent. I guess we just don't know it, Mish, right? Let's see. I'm getting all my messages mixed up. Arizona as well. Oh, okay, Miko as well. Nadine, I don't. And Cecile's from Toronto. He said sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll say that. I say sorry a lot. I say A. I do say my A's. Erin knows like exactly where I live. Also, where she lives. She does. Place I know in Arizona is Wickenburg. Northwest Arizona. The way you say out gave it away. Oh, I outed myself. If you will. Family in Tuscan, Arizona. Oh, cool. Phoenix is in Ottawa. Oh, I didn't know that, Phoenix. I was supposed to go visit my brother in Kitchener this October. I have to put it off. Oh, okay. Helen, I'm looking forward to painting this another time. My internet. Oh, yes, Helen. I remember you saying that earlier. Or maybe that was repeated. Oh, I'm getting a lot of... Yeah, I'm getting some repeated comments. That's what's happening. Weird. A bunch of comments just whipped in there. Okay. I'm gonna go back over here and look. Cecile, Toronto. Arvin says, I've also been to India. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, all those comments just popped in there. Weird. Oh, did she? Oh, weird. I didn't see it. K9, thanks for renewing if that's what happened. The chat's a little funny today. But thank you. Oh, yes, I did miss that. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing it, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. All the alerts are off for the tutorial, that's why. Hype. It's our A, I know. Yes, Kit Kat's Northern Ireland. Gatineau. Central California, says Mary. Toronto says NSAF. Yeah. We're from everywhere. It's really cool to hear where everybody's from. Cool. Central California, says Mary. Oh, I already read that. Trying. Toronto people, anyone in Barrie, or are you actually Toronto? You know, that's what I used to say too. I'm from Toronto, but kind of, but not even. Sweden. Dublin last year from Lynn. We got Barrie, of course, yes. Tim's South River, Ontario, Canada. Shefford, Quebec from Crawl. Kemptville. Oh, yes, that's right. 30 South. You're right. Yes, I'll try and remember that, Nadine. Hey! North Cali from Dara. Cool. Yeah, keep sharing if you want, guys. I'm going to move on to the next step. I assume we're all ready to go. I want to make sure we're not going too slow for anybody. So next, everyone, I'm going to start doing our tree. So I chose black for our tree. We do have some little highlights on top, which we add a little bit later. But for now, we're just using plain black, and we can go nice and slow with shaping at our tree. So of course, we're going to go about halfway. We're going to go, now I'm thinking about it too much. Halfway up, right in the middle of the moon, we're going to do a tree going up, and we're going to do a tree going down. If it's easier for you, do the tree going up, flip your canvas, do another tree going up. I would find it very hard to do branches going down just because that's not what I'm used to. So if you're like me, don't hesitate to flip her around a little bit, and that might help you with doing the tree nicely twice. For the brush, I actually use the large flat brush. For those who have never seen this before, you might be a little surprised. I like the large flat brush because it actually creates some really nice thin lines. The bristles are nice and long, so it means they drag kind of all together, make a nice thin line. And yeah, that's pretty much why I like using it. It holds more paint as well, so I'm able to do larger brush strokes all at once, and that does help me make thinner lines as well, kind of doing all at once, going like all the way up, for example. So I'd recommend trying that, and then if you want, maybe go back to a smaller brush if you wish. But yeah, straight black paint, so you can pour some black on your plates if you haven't already, and I'll teach you a little bit more about trees. Oh, Dara, your 8-year-old daughter is painting. Exciting! I hope she's enjoying it. I can't wait to see what she adds. I think she'll get very creative with all the little animals and stuff. I have my choices, but you can always do your own stuff. Ooh, there it goes. Lisa's from Virginia. Karen's from Burnaby, BC. Love BC. How are you doing, eh? It's true. From Ohio. Waiting for the weather to change, says Patricia. Okay, no worries, Lynn. Have a good rest. Enjoy painting Chicken Noodle another time. And Mr. Noodle. He's behind here. He's hiding a little bit. There he is. Okay. So I'm getting my large brush ready. I'm giving it a little dip in my water, grabbing some black paint. And again, I'm going to start about halfway up, and I'm going to do the top tree first, and then I'll do the others. Let me just readjust for a quick second here. You had a quick peek of Chicken Noodle. There he is. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to find about as close to the middle as I can. Maybe give a little dot just so I can have a little reference. And I'm going to start just by using the flat edge of my brush. So using my brush vertically like this so all the bristles line up. And I'm going to start with just doing a trunk. My trunk I'm going to go up just a little bit because what I like to do with my tree is really start to split it off very quickly. So rather than doing a big line, instead I stop about here, kind of like 3/4 of the way up the moon, and then that way I can start to sprawl out with lots of different branches. So I start with a very thin line. Of course, we're not going to keep it that thin. We actually want a nice wide trunk to hold all of our beautiful branches. So I just start thin just to kind of get my confidence level up. I kind of place it down like, okay, it's okay there. And then what I do is I thicken it up. So I'm trying to keep it going straight up and down, but just trying to thicken up from the sides here. I'm still using the thin edge just so I can go little bits at a time. You don't need to worry about the bottom because this will turn into a tree anyway, so don't worry about any non-straight lines or any brush strokes coming down. Again, I'm just going to look at it straight on to help kind of clean this up a bit. The other thing you might see me doing is making it a little bit wider at the base and going a little bit thinner on the way up. That's because trees are always widest at the bottom, kind of where the roots are, and then they get a little bit thinner as they go up. All right, so it's around the stage where you want to start splitting up the trunk and splitting up the tree into the branches. So you're still using the thin edge of the brush. Now you're just going to be using a little less pressure, I guess, making thinner lines and starting to move a little left and right. So for this branch, I'm going to go way off to the left. I like to make some big branches to start, and then I'll start to do some smaller ones. See that glare there? So my branches, I like to keep them a little bit wavy. They don't need to all be the exact same like straight branches. I like to really kind of make them move a little bit just as branches would. So don't hesitate to try and move it a little left, a little right as it goes. I think it looks great that way. I'm just going to thicken it up a little bit. Again, I want to make the base a little wider than the top. So you can see I did a second stroke kind of here to make it a wider base and then kept it nice and thin up top. Maybe I'll split another one going a little further up here. Maybe it goes right and then up, kind of like a Y shape. So you don't need to follow, of course, the exact method I'm using. It's more so just the tips here. Maybe I'll do another one that kind of comes a little higher up and splits off. Make this one a little wider. So you can see, you can always go on top, kind of change things up a little bit as you go. Kind of a good start there, having a couple big branches. And I really like the idea of the tree really filling up the space, so don't hesitate as well to really swing a few branches, like really far left, really far right, especially if you like things like the little animals, the nice not tire swing, excuse me, just regular swing there. Yeah, those are all good things to have. So if you like the exact design as my tree, you might want to add just a small branch kind of coming off a little bit early on the right hand side. So you have a nice little swing area there. So I'm going to do that right now using the thin edge of my brush. I travel up the tree and then I slowly kind of move it over to the right and do a nice little branch kind of coming over to the right. So that's where my swing is going to go. I might make that a little bit longer just to be safe. And the other thing I have is a squirrel on the left-hand side, so I want to make sure I have at least kind of a semi-straight branch anywhere on the left. So I'm going to maybe place my squirrel right around there. So other tips I have for you, to get nice thin tips on the branches, you just want to be releasing pressure as you go. So as I move my brush around, or along I should say, I'm using a little bit of extra pressure at the start, and then as I get further to the end, I'm releasing pressure, and then that way there's less bristles touching, and that will allow for a thinner line. So more pressure, and then I'm releasing pressure, and I kind of like flick the bristles off of the canvas too. You can see I was kind of moving my handle like this. That helps the bristles flick off and get a nice thin tip at the end. And otherwise, what I'm doing now is I'm really just stacking on branches. So I'm just kind of using the branches that I already have. I'm kind of splitting them in two, making some V shapes, making some more big branches if you want. Maybe another big one kind of comes up here. Who knows? Who knows? And again, if it helps, you can kind of somewhat copy my design here in terms of where the branches are going, but again, no pressure. It's very flexible if you want to do your own kind of design in terms of how many branches, where they go, etc. But you can see I really like the idea of splitting them in two. I think that looks nice and natural. And that's why I kind of travel along a branch and then eventually move away, so it looks like it's kind of naturally splitting away. Rather than kind of starting at a spot and just going kind of straight out, for example. Looks a little nicer if it splits away, in my opinion. So yeah, you can see I'm really trying to reach these up, trying to fill up most of the space here. Maybe I'll do a small little branch right here. yeah, trying to make them all different sizes as well. You can have some shorter ones, some longer ones, of course. Fill it up as much or as little as you need. Okay, I think that's pretty good for that part. So I'll just leave this here in case you want to look at the one tree for now. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the other one. Debbie says hi from Manitoba. Hello, hello. Do-do-do-do. All right, so as I said, you can do the same thing on the other side. If you would like, again, you can either try this upside down as an extra challenge, but I would honestly recommend just flipping it around. Robin, hello. Pimage says freezing. Try refreshing, or if you want, you can try Twitch. Usually the stream is a little bit better on Twitch. Twitch.tv/erinbunpaints. There we go. So I flipped this upside down because I find it way easier to do trees right side up, of course. So feel free to flip whenever you're ready. Do not worry, I do not copy the exact layout on the other side. I just pay attention to a couple of things. I pay attention to where I want my swing to be. I want to try my best to mirror and mimic where that is so that we get kind of a proper reflection for the swing. And then any small branches, like if I have a small one here, I'll for sure put a small one here. But otherwise, the other ones, I don't worry about. That would be forever where you're like, oh, a big branch goes over here. I need to make it go over here too. And it would just be too crazy. So I don't worry about it. In fact, I actually changed the tree up a little bit on purpose for the spooky side. I try and make my branches a little less flowy. You see how they kind of flow? They kind of curve just very nicely and lightly. Instead, what I try and do is make them a little more rickety. So you'll see more of this where I kind of go straight out and then do a quick curve and then come this way. Again, more of like the straight, jagged types. So if you like kind of that spookier aspect, I would recommend trying that. Just doing more straight branches and then kind of like quick, abrupt curves. Nothing crazy unless you want them breaking off and really spooky. But yeah, again, you can see they're a little more straight and then instead of curving, they do more of a jagged edge. Okay. So same thing, I'm going to start with my trunk. Again, I'm going to move this over here just so I can really look at it here. And remember, you want to start wide and go a little thinner. So the very middle of the canvas is going to be the widest, and then it starts to get thinner already as it goes up. So you're mimicking what you see. It's a mirror. Good start, good start. Okay, Donna, I'm having trouble with the interruptions in broadcasting. Oh, so sorry. Refreshing is not helping. I'll catch up tomorrow. No worries. Donna and anyone else on Facebook saying that. I don't know why that's all of a sudden happening. So sorry. If you want to click that link, twitch.tv/erinbunpaints, that's another stream that I'm currently on, and usually there's no interruptions. Feel free to try it if you'd like, or you can watch tomorrow. It's no problem. Thanks for letting me know, though. And yes, Debbie, you can definitely watch later. Hello, Terry! Nice to see you! Welcome in from Toronto, of course. Okay. Yeah, Debbie, you can either watch later or try clicking that link. Broadcast frozen. Oh, weird. I'm gonna close that for a second and see if that helps. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Bob quote, we want happy paintings, happy paintings. If you want sad things, watch the news. No worries, Lisa. Oh, of course. Yeah, go have a good sleep, okay? Thanks for popping in. Did you do the animal swing before or after the leaves and lines? I did those. Let me think. Leaves first, animals second. Broadcast frozen. Oh, weird. Bob Ross was a genius. He was. What a good human being. Okay, so again, Facebook, I left that Twitch link there for you. It's free to just click and watch. You don't even need to make an account if you don't want to. You can if you wish, though. So feel free to try that if you're getting broadcast interruptions. I'm sorry that's happening. This is a continued problem. So again, like I said earlier, the only branches I'm mimicking are the swing branch, because we want that to be, of course, around the same kind of height, so we get the mirrored swing, which I'll tell you about later. And then if you have any like distinct branches, like I just have a little one there, so I just like to mimic that one. But otherwise, I won't be mimicking any others. I'll be generally doing the same thing, of course, because I'm using the same techniques and everything, but I'm not looking at the bottom here as I do it. So again, I'm trying to do more rickety branches. I almost started doing my curvy ones again, but instead I'm going to do straight lines and kind of harsher edges and turns. So maybe like going straight up and then doing a quick little curve straight over here. It just makes it look a little more rickety and a little more spooky that way. And I think adding more little twigs kind of makes it look a little more spooky too. So if you want to just fill up the ends of your branches with more little twigs, I feel like that spooks it up as well. Do any and all of those things, that's fine. I know, Gray. No worries, Olga, have a great night. The quality cam, maybe that's, I don't know, it's a quality feed, it can't handle it? I'm not sure. I'm trying my best, guys. Again, there are alternatives if you wish. Alright, so starting to fill it up pretty much the exact same way. Not exact same, I shouldn't say exact same, but same techniques anyway. Okay, I'm gonna make this one longer, make it reach way up there. Crisscross them if you need. They don't all need to be so separated. You can kind of crisscross on top. And you can see I'm trying my best to make them straighter and more edgy. And again, you can always use a teeny tiny brush if the big one isn't working for you. This is a lot of practice I've had with this brush. I've really used to, or learned to love it really. Kind of like how to use it for trees. So if it's not acting the same way for you, maybe a smaller brush would work. That's totally fine. Maybe Gray. It's a lot of time though. It's a lot of my time. That's an interesting thought, though. Just in general, like watching a video and answering questions, that's interesting. You're watching ink dry. Thank you, K9. Yeah, exactly. It's okay, Gray. I'll, we'll see. I think I've got something. I got a solution. It'll be easier. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate it. Doesn't take as long. Is that a Nilla time? Nilla late. Oh my, she has one for everything. Look at that. Nilla late. Oh, ooh, look at the watch. Oh, okay, 9. Yep, Not my acrylic though. My acrylic scrape painting where I had all of that paint on there. It's pretty much already dry. It is dry, yeah. I was picking it up and touching it earlier and it was fine. Ah, I love that thing. Can't wait to work on that tomorrow. Well, ma'am, I have to... Ma'am? She's calling me ma'am? I had you on a while putting my face on. You're awesome. I hope the rest of the night goes well. You're awesome. You sound awesome too. I hope you pop back in, drink and draw. More chats and everything. I'm so glad you enjoyed. Thanks for coming in. Good luck with everything if I never see you again, but otherwise I hope to see you again. Please feel free to pop in. It was lovely chatting with you. You're welcome, Cecilia. Yeah, sure, Dara. Everyone good? I wanted to give just another extra minute or two just in case people had the branches to do. I know sometimes with trees, Dara, some people like to really take their time with branches, so just to make sure, maybe we'll give another minute or two and then we're good to go. Thanks, though. Yep, quality is so much better on here. Yeah, Leanne, thanks for popping over. I appreciate it. So Leanne thinks the quality is way better on Twitch. I just find there's less interruptions. And I'm using a very high quality camera now that I invested in, and it really shows on Twitch, so I really appreciate it. Leanne, yeah. Ma'am is Southern. Okay, yeah, we're not used to ma'am up here, I guess. Ma'am. Can't wait to watch your stream. Have a good night. Oh, do you stream? I didn't even ask you. Do you stream? I don't have enough popcorn for that. M'lady. Oh, excellent. Yeah, Mish agrees. Mish agrees. Yeah, it's just about trying it out, popping over and seeing how it goes, you know? M'lady. All right, let's go on to the next step here. Let me see. Okay. So I think next we're going to do the leaves. Now that we have the other side of the tree a little more dry, we can start to plop on some leaves. Leanne's your sister. Oh, cool! So, oh, let's flip this over first of all. Okay, so for the leaves, we have 3 different kinds of green here. We have a nice light green, medium green, and dark green. Okie dokie. So I'm going to start with a nice dark green and then kind of work my way lighter and lighter. I'm going to switch brushes officially. Oh, that is a dirty brush. Let me wipe that handle off there. Dark green, medium green, light green. So the dark green we're going to start with first. We have a nice medium round brush. That's what I'm going to use. I'm popping it in my water just to grab a little bit of water on it. Oh dear. And then we're going to mix blue and yellow for a nice green color. Sigh leaves the bane of my existence. Wait, what? What's up, Mish? Oh, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. I'll see you again, I'm sure. The leaves, you mean, Mish? Oh, very cool. Leanne, the Lake Louise painting? You sure can, Tammy. Thank you, Dara. I appreciate it. I'll tell you more about that in a second, Tammy. I'm just using my medium round brush, mixing blue and yellow. Again, I'm starting with a nice dark green, so I would use maybe more blue than yellow. Yes, Tammy. I'll be leaving this video up on Facebook and Twitch temporarily, and then it just moves to YouTube after. So you can check it out on YouTube if you don't see it on Facebook or Twitch after a little bit. Get the leaves right ever. Okay, okay. I'll try to explain it. It's probably going to be the same explanation as usual, but we'll try again, okay? Alright. Using my brush. First of all, now that we've mixed paint, the brush is probably all pent up with paint. So wash it off and get a nice shape back. See your bonsai. Oh, you did the bonsai? I love that painting so much. I felt this kind of reminded me of it actually a little bit. Momoki? So I washed off the brush for the purpose of reshaping it, okay? And then that way when I apply the paint, my brush is still nicely shaped. Still have the nice thin tip on it. Not the thinnest tip, but it's still tipped. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto my canvas here. I'm going to angle my brush so it's not straight at the canvas, it's not straight flat, it's kind of angled at a 45. I press down to the tip of the brush, not the whole bristles, just the tip. Just a little bit of pressure, do a quick little stroke, and then remove. And it comes off in kind of this oval leafy shape. I'm putting this kind of floating off of my branches. I don't really like connecting them actually. I personally prefer having them kind of float off because it makes it look a little more delicate. And I'm just applying this everywhere around the daytime top tree. And I reapply paint every 2 or 3 strokes because I want these strokes to be nice and clean. I'm not kind of scraping the paint off or anything. It's fresh paint every stroke. You can see I'm going down the branches too. They don't need to stick to the very tips of the branches. They can kind of travel down all the branches here. Want to make sure this is left open for my swing set. Well, you can cover it a little bit. Why not? Actually, I have a couple, so why not? Scratch that. We can fill that in a little bit. And then I'm kind of angling them all different ways too, so you can note how some of them are kind of coming up and out of the branch, some of them kind of come out like this, some of them come out like that. So I just kind of switch the direction just a little bit each time. And you don't need to fill it up too much because we are doing 2 other shades of color, right? So there you go. I think you'll be happy to know that I'm all the way in BC and this is how my sister and I stay connected. That makes me very happy. Kelowna, I'm in Kentville. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so sweet. It does really make me happy, honestly. Oh. Ooh. Erin addicted. Whoa. Oh man, good thing I'm online a lot. No, it really does. That's the whole point of this, is to not just to like encourage people to do art, but to stay connected in a safe way too. So that makes me super, super happy. It would be very hard otherwise, being so far away from one another. Okay, I'm just lightening up my green by adding a little bit more yellow into my green. I'm using the same brush and just kind of moving it around. And you can see my green is now just a little bit lighter. It's more of a medium shade of green. It's nothing crazy yet. I'll be doing the crazy light green next. For now, I'm just filling in a little bit more. Just kind of lightly going at it. There we go. It's already filling up a lot, so I'm just gonna stop there with my medium green. Peepo juice. Simple leaves casually. Yeah, I try with the leaves just to make them, you know, nothing too crazy. I really like the idea of just kind of like the clean shapes everywhere, and I think it fills it up nicely. Very kind of, again, whimsical, loose. And there's that peepo. And then whenever you're ready, no rush, you can start to make your last shade of green. So this is a very, very light green. So once again, I'm just mixing more yellow into my existing green. That makes more of a lime green. That way you get lots of different shades of green into your tree. So look at those, very light compared to the others. Lovely, lovely, lovely. There we go. I just think it spruces it up a little bit more to have lots of different shades in there. So that's what I've done. Cat jam. Gotta tell you, I'm in a different chat right now because I'm trying something new, so I can't see all those, but I can switch back and forth and see them. Trying my best. Oh, there we go. So we'll give another minute, just a quick minute in case anyone's still adding those leaves. I really love trying to mimic them, they're so cute. I think we'll do the kind of the black elements, animals left. We got the silhouettes of the swing. We will do that next, and then I'll teach you how to do all the individual animals. And of course, as I always say, feel free to switch it up, okay? If you have other animals you want to add, spookier things you want to add, less spooky things you want to add, that's all up to you. But I'll teach you how I did mine. Oh, Lynn, he switched to Facebook. Yeah, orange leaves. Yeah, that would have made it a little more like, I guess, Halloween-y, fallish. I don't know why I chose green. I just felt like doing some greenery with the purple. I thought it was nice. But yeah, orange leaves would be lovely. Yellows would be lovely. It would match the yellow eyes in the tree for sure. I can't do Pet the Peepo. Which one, pleb? No! I'll need to look it up to see what it looks like. Of course, though, of course. Yeah, of course there is. Grace said it. Oh my god. I see him now. Oh, that's kind of funny. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. Fall orange. Kit Kat, you're all done? The whole thing? Oh, wow. Let's do some little silhouettes, guys. It sounds like you are ready and or done. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a nice teeny tiny brush now. I think I'll do the swing set first, just because that's the one that's kind of mimicked between the two areas here. So the swing set on the daytime side, or green side, full swing set, of course, nice like bright sunny day. I guess no, it's a bright night with a fully intact swing. And then on the other side, I just did some frayed rope as if the swing is broken. Very spooky, very spooky. So I'm just using black paint with my teeny tiny brush. I'd recommend using a little bit of water on your brush to help water down the black. I find that really helps get some nice thin lines. So try doing that, kind of dipping in the water, grabbing a little bit of black, thinning it out. It'll help you with creating some thin lines for the ropes of the swing. I'm going to bring the swing down very close to the halfway point, but not quite touching. So just two straight lines. 1, 2. They just kind of got smaller and thinner because I ran out of paint. That was not intentional. I'm going to thicken them up a bit. There we go. And then straightforward, I just have a rectangle on the bottom here. Just like a very simple swing, a little slat of wood kind of hanging on from the strings there. Very elongated rectangle. And then to make it a little more detailed, a little more fancy, I just do a couple small strokes coming out of either corner as if there's maybe some frayed rope at the bottom, as if it's knotted or something and there's just frayed rope kind of sticking out there. It's amazing. Oh, Davina, if I can help you, just let me know. Just keep taking your time. What I do is I finish this in about 2 hours, but I stick around after, so if you have any questions, you can always let me know. And don't worry, the video is up after as well, so if you need to rewind and kind of have a look at things, you have the opportunity to do that too. So the other side is mirrored, so that means it's going to be, again, kind of on the same side here. The only difference is we don't do a bottom of a swing. I just do 2 little lines coming down. There's 1. There's 2. And I make the rope look frayed as if the swing has broken or something. Something creepy has happened to the swing. So I just kind of split this string into 2 or 3. I kind of do small little wiggly lines coming down as if, again, the rope is frayed and it's just broken. So it's kind of like making small little branches of a tree almost. They're all just kind of hanging down. It's all unraveling. Very spooky looking. Trouble blending the moon. Oh, okay, Davina. So if things aren't blending, it might mean that one color is a little bit dry. So try re-adding a little bit more of your background color maybe to start, so the dark purple or the light purple. And even if you want to do it in small sections rather than doing the whole thing, you know, you could do kind of the side like this, do your light purple. You can wash off your brush, grab a little bit of white, and then you can use the white to blend in a little bit there. Sure, yeah, I'll give an extra minute or 2 for this swing if you want to see that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll flip it the other way. You can see it right side up. You can have a quick look at what's going on here. Definitely. I do my best. having a look at what we got left here. I can plan ahead. Yeah, so we got some animals to do, some details. It'll be good. Glad you're enjoying them so much, guys. Going to sleep now. Have a nice rest of the evening, all. Thanks for the paying. You're very welcome, Crawl. Really nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Yay, Mish! Maybe I said something different. I don't know, but I'm glad. I'm glad. That makes me really excited. No worries, Davina. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, you should go at your own pace. I think that's important. I just try and keep it at a certain pace because, you know, people have a schedule and I usually say about 2 hours and I wouldn't want to keep people super, super late if they can't stay. So I try and keep it at a reasonable pace, but totally understand if you need a little more time, that's fine. That's fine. Blob dance. Better brush. Oh, okay, okay. That's fair, that's fair. So you got new ones recently? I know you usually use the ones from Walmart. Did you get different ones from a different store? Davina, perfect. All right, yeah, let's move on to a few other elements here. Just small little elements. Again, if you want to change these up, you're more than welcome to. On the sunny side or the daytime, whatever you want to call it, side, non-spooky side, I did do a little squirrel. Here's a nice close-up of him. So pretty much just a little arched body. You can see he's kind of leaning forward. Gave him a little kind of nose and some ears. Nice bushy tail. And 2 little arms kind of poking out. Very, very subtle. Whoops! Very, very subtle, but they are there. So I'm going to choose, again, any branch that's a little bit flat here, just so he's not hanging on for dear life. I'm going to go on top of this leaf here, so it might be a teeny bit hard to see, but you should be able to see with the black on top. Just going to switch this around so I can see. There we go. So the body's kind of angled forward. He's kind of hunching forward a little bit. Nice curved back. So let's use the black paint. We're starting above the branch, kind of curving down to the right. I'll give you a nice close-up in a quick second. It's like we're making an oval that's kind of slanting up and to the right, or up and to the left, excuse me. Coming down to the right. You can connect it with the branch, of course. We're not doing any feet or anything. It's just kind of resting right there. Again, ignore the green. It's just that oval there. Have another good look there. Maybe you've improved. True. Michael's. Okay. Definitely helps, but it might just be improvement too. Like Gray said. Nighttime, daytime. But there's the moon, you know? That's why I have trouble every time I say nighttime. Tree and branch is just black. Yes, for now it is, Lori. We will be adding some highlights later, but for now it is just black. Okay, on the top of that oval, I'm doing yet another oval, but this time it's kind of pointing out to the left, so this is just the little head of the squirrel. Maybe comes to a little bit of a point at the end there, as if he's really reaching forward. They kind of like reach their heads forwards a little bit. No feet, lucky Barb isn't here. She would have something to say. There's little hands, but no feet. Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's a bit of everything, Mish. Brushes help, but in the end, they don't do everything, right? So. Okay, to make this a little more squirrel-like, I just add 2 little ears. They're really just 2 teeny little brush strokes coming out of the head there. Just 2 little dabs with the brush. Mine's quite leany. I'm just gonna curve out his back a little bit. Make him a little more full. There we go. Mirror moon. Looks like he's smelling a leaf. Kinda, yeah, he's kind of reaching out to take a little chomp or a smell. I do 2 even smaller little dots kind of anywhere on the left-hand side of that body. Just as his little hands. They kind of tuck in their hands, right? So I like to just do teeny little dots or strokes for that. I think I used metallic. It's because I used metallic for the dark sky. Might have dried faster. I see, okay. Fall colors. Yeah, do that, do that. Yeah, metallic paint, Davina, I haven't really used a whole lot of. I used it for pouring the other day, but that's about it. So I couldn't tell you if the drying time is faster or slower, but trust yourself. It's probably that. It's probably that. And then for the tail, everybody, we're just kind of tapping our brush to make it kind of nice and textured and bushy. Just making a nice big kind of angled pile of dabs coming out from that bottom right area and then coming up to the right a little bit. So nice and textured, so I just tap, tap, tapped, and then that way the edges of that shape are kind of softer, a little bushier. And that's the tail. Oh, he's very scraggly. I might clean him up a little bit. He's like freshly washed. All his fur is very floofy. There we go. So that's our little squirrel. Thanks. You're welcome, Ensaf. No problem. And that's the only animal we have for the good side versus the evil side, spooky side. If you have any other animals, you can definitely add them. I just wanted to keep it a little more open and simple because we have all those leaves, right? We didn't need to fill up a whole lot more, in my opinion. The spooky side, we have a few extra things. Metallic acrylic has similar drying time. Oh, okay. Similar, but still could be different, so who knows? At least Liquitex heavy body is that way. Okay. Yeah, I'm not super experienced with metallics. Alright, so other animals I've included on the spooky side, we have a raven. I'll bring this up so I can show you. We have a raven. We have a bat. So there's our little raven there. He's kind of just sitting on a little branch. We have a bat. And then we have an unknown animal. What is he? Who knows? Is it a person? I don't know. So let's start with the little raven. So the raven, it's pretty similar to the squirrel actually, just maybe a little smaller and thinner. You can see he's not quite as large and well fed as the squirrel. He's a little bit thinner. But we start with just an angled kind of oval coming up to the left. Instead of a head, we just do kind of a beak. So we just do a thin line coming out further to the left. And then we add a little tail, and that's really all there is to the raven. There's one other detail. There's a little red eye just to make him a little spookier, but otherwise the shape is pretty similar to the squirrel, just smaller, thinner, less going on. No tail, of course, no bushy tail. We have a different tail. So I'm going to put him maybe like right here. So same thing, we start with just an oval, a thinner oval this time, kind of angled up to the left. See that there? Again, he's nice and small, just a little guy. A little more delicate, like a jelly bean. Thanks for tips. You're welcome, Davina. I mean, the nice thing about acrylic is the different colors don't have vastly different drying times. True. Or the tree comes alive at night. True. Very spooky. Get some of those like big eyes on there like we did in our chat controls painting, you know? Like looking eyes. I think that would be cool. Alright, so for the raven again, we don't really do a head. What I just did is I did a beak coming out from the left-hand side. It's just doing a little thin line as if his head is kind of tucked all in there. We don't really see a distinct head. He's just kind of cuddled up. So that works there. So a nice angled line going up to the left. There you go. And then for the tail, again, rather than doing a bushy tail like we did for the squirrel, I'm just going to do a couple strokes coming out to the right, as if the tail's kind of falling out on the bottom area because he's kind of perched, right? And then his tail just kind of flicks out on the bottom right there. There we go. Give you a quick little minute. And again, there is a red eye, but I'm going to leave that for a little bit. We want the black to dry a little bit more. But yeah, such a good thought, Miko, that it comes alive at night. Very spoopy. Spoopy. Okay, let's go on to a bat. We've got a bat. Here, I'll show you once again. Again, I tried to keep them nice and straightforward and simple. So for the bat, it's pretty much two curves that have a little circle in the middle, the circle being his little body. The two curves are on the top, and then what I do is I do smaller curves on the bottom to get that distinct kind of wing shape from a bat. So I start with the two curves that have a circle in the middle, and then I do lots of little curves at the bottom. Let me show ya. So I'm using the black paint again, same small brush. I'm gonna make him float anywhere around here. So I'm doing just one nice kind of up and down curve. Doing a circle in the middle. He's kind of a cartoony bat, but that's the way I like him. And then another curve on the other side. Looking awesome. Thank you so much, K9. With each and every little animal, it gets spoopier and spoopier. And then the bottom of those curves, you're doing small little curves that come to little points as you go. So small curve, small curve, small curve, small curve, small curve, small curve. And of course, you fill it all in, and you get your little bat. If you want, you can kind of shape it up a little more. If you want to like combine the circle into the wings a little more. If you don't like how distinct it is, for example, you can kind of curve these down into the body, curve these up into the body, whatever you want. Just to make it a little more uniform. And then on my bat, I like to add just two teeny little strokes coming on the top left and right from the head there, like little bat ears. Very important for their echolocation. Because they're blind. Is that a myth though? I feel like all bats are not blind. There we go. Same thing, this bat has some red eyes, but we're going to leave them for now just until the black dries. We have a couple other steps to do, and we can go back there. Bats are not blind, myth it is. There we go, here I am spreading my misinformation. Don't believe what I'm saying. They still use their echolocation, but they're not blind apparently. There you go, they don't see well, gotcha. I knew it was something like that. Should be apparent when they look at you with their eyes they use to see things. Okay, fine. That they use to see things. One kind of bat is blind, but that's it. Okay. Worth noting that megabats do not have echolocation. Okay. Well, noted. Write that down. Don't believe everything I'm saying. Okay. So another step we can do while we're waiting for the black to dry is we can do some of the highlights on the tree here just to make it look a little more like bark. So you can kind of see on top here, it's just a nice medium to dark gray. It's important to do especially for this little circle so you can really see a hole in the tree if you really like that aspect. And then otherwise all I do is I kind of just follow where the branches are going. You maybe do a couple little knots here and there, little up and downs with your brush just to fill in any black space. There's no highlighting in terms of sticking to a certain edge of the branch or anything. I just kind of do it for texture reasons. So I'm going to keep using the same brush I have here, mixing black and white together to make a nice gray. Again, aiming for like a medium to dark gray. I don't want it too light. And I'm going to start with the circle just because I want to make sure that one is left open, so it's more of an oval, I guess I should say. Anywhere at the base of the tree so there's a nice wide spot for it. So nice circle, sorry, oval. I'm going to keep calling it a circle apparently. They don't see it, all their sight is through sound. Is this another Peanuts situation? I don't know. Okay, and then once I have that oval on, you can really do whatever you want with the gray. Again, I kind of go, just kind of swing up and down the branches a little bit, filling in spots, keeping nice loose lines everywhere. You don't need to worry about going everywhere. Don't worry about going to the very tips of each branch, just as much or as little as you want. See how that's filling up there? Just kind of wiggling around with the branches. Again, you can do like a little curve here and there for knots, anything like that. And I do the same on the other side too. I don't have a hole on the other side. You could add one if you want, but in my opinion, it's kind of a spooky thing to have a pair of eyes coming out of a hole, so I keep the other side just the bark, just the highlights. Excuse me. Oh, good night, Kit Kat. Oh, as always, yep. I'll see you next stream. Bye-bye. They can see just fine. Okay. They apparently have really good eyesight? What? What were we taught? I swear there was like episodes of educational television telling me that bats are blind. I'll have to rewatch that Magic School Bus episode, see what they say. Maybe I just wasn't listening. I'm pretty sure they had an episode about bats with echolocation. Pretty sure. Alright, you can see how that just adds a little bit more texture, a little more bark. There we go. Educational TV was like 20 plus years ago, so you may have gotten better understanding. Maybe. Blind as a bat. True, exactly. I think that's a pretty common misconception. Lori, hello! Popping in from work while at work. You're still at work? Oh, Lori. I hope it's all going okay. Happy Friday. Thanks for popping in. We got your beautiful fall painting coming up on Sunday. I say yours because it was based on your inspo photo. I actually have it beside me here. If anyone cares to see, I'll just demonstrate it real quick or show it off real quick. Ooh. So that's Sunday. Sunday, I believe at 2 p.m. I did. Yeah, earlier in the afternoon just for fun, switching it up. But again, hope your week's been well, Lori. They use sonar. Yeah, exactly. We always comment blind as a bat. Exactly. Echolocation is a thing that lets them hunt at night better. It doesn't replace their eyesight. Okay, okay, okay. Todd, you should write the Magic School Bus. Happy Friday to you too, Lori. Love how everyone's looking it up here. It's Mizzy, thanks for the follow. Again, my follows are all funny today. But I think you were on Twitch there, yep. Welcome in, I'm just doing a tutorial by the way if you're still here. Let's have another look at what we have left to do. We don't have much left, just a few little extra details. So we want to do some stars in the sky if you like the stars in the spooky side. Very quick and easy to do. You're just using the teeny tiny brush here. We'll be dipping into some white paint. I'll read your comment in a second, Gray. We gotta learn about our bats here. Oh, I'm gonna flip this over. Doesn't really matter to flip it, but just to demonstrate it'll be a little easier. Okay, and I'm just using the tip of the brush and literally dotting it on and off. On and off, on and off. Just making lots of little stars. The harder you press, the larger the dot will be, and the lighter you press, the smaller it'll be. So I just kind of mix it up with different pressures. Getting lots of little twinkly stars, bigger stars, whatever you like. Just makes it more nighttime and spooky, right? According to the internet, when someone is having a faulty vision, we can allude it to blind as a bat, talking about its origin. Comes in the class of idioms derived from animals, a figure of speech based on the assumption that bats cannot see properly. Assumption. Okay. Well, that's some misinformation in my opinion. That makes it very confusing. Interesting. Love it. We'll try my best to attend on Sunday. Sounds great, Laurie. If you can't, I understand. It's okay. But I'll watch for you. Hope to see you there. Put the eyes in the tree. Not yet, Pimage. No, I'm waiting a little bit just to make sure it's nice and dry. I'm gonna do the eyes probably last. All of the eyes. We have lots of eyes to put on here. Alright, lots of little stars, nice and twinkly. You can call the painting the Hollow of Halloween. Oh, that's a good one too. You guys are good at your titles. That's why I leave it up to you. I couldn't come up with better titles. You're all the best at it. So we have a couple more things left. Let me just see here. Pretty sure just mainly like 2 or 3 steps. Yeah, okay. As always, I'm in awe of how your paintings turn out. Thank you, K9. This one's turning out pretty similar, which is good. Cecilia, good night. Thanks, see you Sunday. I'll see you Sunday, Cecilia. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for popping in. Okay. So one of the few steps left is I like to put a little bit of a blue line here. Totally optional. I think some of you might like the idea of having it clean and just kind of continuous. I personally like the idea of having a blue line, maybe like the viewer can think it's a little bit like water, but maybe it's not. It's a spoopy reflection. So we have a solid blue line, and then I did do a couple smaller blue lines on the bottom part, so on the spooky part. I understand that when you flip it, it kind of makes it so that the water's the other way, but I kind of like it that way. I think it maybe looks like the water's going from here upwards, you know, like it's kind of fading away. You see some ripples. So again, change it as you like, but that's that was kind of my reasoning and theories there. So we can mix blue and white together, and I'm going to use a medium-sized brush. You can use whatever brush you like. Anything with a thin tip, you know, I'm just using the medium brush and I'm just using the tip of the brush. And that way I can get a nice thin line, hopefully. So again, to repeat, I use it to split right in half, so you can go right in between the light purple and dark purple, go all the way across. Oh, that was a little jagged, but that's okay. That's what you get from painting from the side. A little bit tilty, that's alright. Might never turn out as good. Just a little different, I'm sure. I like the line it makes look mist. Yeah, exactly. Kind of mist, like water's either, yeah, going away or it's misting away, exactly. Tree can also sit in the middle of the water when it's on the ski-a-wee side. Yeah, it's true. And I like that idea that it's in water, exactly, on the scary side. Oops, so I want to make sure I'm flipping this. So we got that very curvy line. And then I just add a couple smaller thin lines kind of below. Very subtle. Totally optional. There we go. That is quite the curve. Whoopsie. It's probably because I was trying to match those two up. Anyway, all good. Can move back here. Alright, so the last few steps here, we're just adding some eyes. So I'm going to start with the red eyes for the scary side. So I decided to add one red dot on the raven here, just at the, kind of close to the beak at the head area. So just caking on a little bit of a red dot. So you can see it just kind of glowing away right there. And then I did 2 on the back because it's kind of facing us. So one right beneath one ear, the other right below the other. Kind of see them there. They're kind of subtle, but they are there. And those were red dots. Okay, Okay, and then lastly, we have one more set of eyes, of course, in that little hollowed out circle oval area of the tree. And so I'm going to use some yellow and white mixed together for that one. I mix it with white so that it kind of pops off the black a little bit more. If it's just plain yellow, it's going to maybe turn a little transparent, be a little hard to see. So mixing a little bit of white in there helps. Just doing two small little circles kind of near the top of the oval as if they're just kind of glowing eyes and we don't know what they are. Oh my gosh. An owl can be spooky too. True, I almost did an owl actually. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Patricia. I'm glad you love them. You're welcome, Dara. So before you guys go, if you're all done your painting, I always suggest signing it. Sign it on whatever side you want, I guess, because it can be flipped upside down. That's the fun part about this painting, choosing what side to kind of leave right side up. So I'm just going to do a quick little signature in the bottom corner of the spooky area. My little initials, and that really finishes it off, right? Kind of shows myself that I'm all done, I'm happy with the painting, no more touching it, all that good stuff. Okay. So that, yeah, that finishes the design, that finishes the tutorial. So what I'm doing now is I'm just navigating back to the Facebook event page, so that if anyone wants to post any photos now that they're all done, or maybe a little bit later, you can of course do that. I'm just going to open up the permissions for you to post. Thank you everybody for coming. There it goes. Hope you had a good time. Sounds like you did. We're getting a lot of thank yous. Thanks so much guys for coming. If you're looking for another tutorial, I'll be doing another one this Sunday. I believe it's at 2 p.m. I'm just going to triple check that before I really say that definitively. Just to really make sure. 2 p.m. Yes, 2 p.m. EST this Sunday. We're doing the nice wagon wheel, kind of very fall vibe painting. You can see it in the Facebook event page. So feel free to join me for that. Again, Facebook and Twitch, I'll be doing that on both. I mentioned the event page. If you want to post any photos, please feel free to post in the event page on Facebook, or you can go to Discord if you prefer. If you're on Twitch and you prefer Discord, we have a Discord as well and a nice art share channel. Feel free to share in there. What else? If anyone has questions about their painting, now is a good time to ask me. I'm fully available to help answer anything, so just let me know. And then what else? I'll mention the tip links again in case anyone wants to continue to support me through these free events. Thank you very much. I have a Interac e-transfer link and a PayPal link you're welcome to use. Thank you very much for your generosity and your support. And I think that's about it. I'll just watch for comments, see if anyone has any questions.